Hello students. Recently we did see lot of news articles about e-commerce sector. For example, this article states that India calls rapid growth of e-commerce concerning, and also there is other news article stating that Amazon violations of e-commerce rules. This is directly by the Commerce Ministry Piyush Goyal. In today's class, we talk about what is e-commerce, what are the types of e-commerce, data related to the e-commerce and issues related to e-commerce, advantages of e-commerce and government interventions with way forward. This is going to be the timeline of our class. Coming to what is e-commerce. What is e-commerce? To simply speak about e-commerce, when a business is happening through the internet, it's called as an e-commerce. For example, let us take this. There are sellers. What do sellers do? Sellers sell their product to consumers, and these consumers buy from the sellers. So this kind of business environment is created in the online platform. It is called as an e-commerce. Okay, this is called e-commerce. There are two kinds of e-commerce to broadly divide. What are these two kinds of e-commerce models? First one is marketplace model. What is it? Marketplace e-commerce model. And second one is inventory based. So let us take an example of Amazon here. In marketplace e-commerce entity just acts as a marketplace. It doesn't own any kind of inventory there. For example, we are taking Amazon, right? So Amazon registers sellers. Sellers place their products in this Amazon, right? They place their products and these products are sold to the consumers. Through what? Through Amazon. So here Amazon just acts as a marketplace. So this is called as an marketplace model. When an e-commerce entity just acts as a marketplace, it is called marketplace model. Okay. Second one is inventory model. Here we are going to take example of Blinkit, right? So as a consumer, you wanted to buy milk. Let us take an example. As a consumer, you wanted to buy Amul milk, right? So what happens in this inventory based model is Blinkit actually purchases from the Amul. Blinkit purchases the milk from the Amul and it stores in its warehouses, and whenever there is a demand from the consumer, it directly sells this to the consumers. Here Amul has no role directly to the consumer. Okay, Amul is a seller, but to the Blinkit, here this seller just places his product in the Amazon, but in Blinkit he is selling it to the Blinkit. This is the difference between marketplace model and also inventory based model. In inventory based model, the e-commerce entity makes an inventory, makes a storage unit for itself and it sells to its consumers. This is the basic difference between these two. Let us look at the data about this and how this sector is growing in the country. So the growth rate of this sector is 51%. Which is 51%, which means it is the largest growing sector of the world. India is doing the highest growth of e-commerce in the world. And there is also the statistics in 2017. The amount of market share or market value this e-commerce sector has was just approximately $37 billion in India. But 2026, it is expected to reach $200 billion. You understand how much it is going to get improved? And by 2034, India is going to be the second largest e-commerce place in the world. By 2034, it is going to be the second largest e-commerce market of the world, first being the USA. These are the projections. So you understand the importance of this e-commerce through this, right? So now we must analyze the things, why this e-commerce is going forward, why is this growth improving, and why is it actually being so important to us. See, for this we are going to see the advantages of this e-commerce sector. The first advantage is initial cost is low. initial cost to set up a e-commerce business is very low. Let us take an example of retail sector where you need to have a brick and mortar shop. For that, what do you need? You need a place. Either for rent or you need to buy that place, right? Or and also you need electricity, which is commercial in nature, and you also need staff, working people to support your business. These are the things you need if you are going to place a retail shop. But coming to the e-commerce shop, you just need a warehouse, right? If it is a small business, most of the times warehouses are just with the people in their own houses. So the initial cost of setting up e-commerce business is very low. You just need to enroll yourself in the platform and you just need to have an inventory in your warehouse. It is very simple and very cost-effective method to save. This is the first advantage of this e-commerce sector. And second one, the second advantage of this e-commerce sector is accessible. It is accessible to everyone and it is accessible 24/7, which is unlike the retail shops which only have specific times to visit. And also this actually improves global exports. And consumer base is very wide. Compared to that of retail sector. These are the two major advantages. Second one being the accessible thing. And third one is it promotes the competition in the market. How does it promote the competition in the market? Let us take an example of some product. So you like a product. So this e-commerce platforms allows you to check the product between different sellers and also different platforms so that an informed decision can be made by the consumer. So this actually leads to perfect competition in the market. Informed decision. So these are the few advantages of these e-commerce sites. Government also has realized the importance of these e-commerce sites and came up with some encouraging policies for this sector. What are the government policies for this sector? First one is government allowed liberal FDI policy. 100% FDI is allowed in the marketplace model. Where? Marketplace model, not in the inventory model, okay? Market model. And government also came up with ONDC, Open Network Digital Commerce. This allows the interoperability between the different platforms which are existing right now. And third one, government has increased procurement through government e-marketplace. And also, in agriculture sector, e-NAM is playing a great role in the e-commerce sector of the country. And after this, government came up with guidelines for consumer protection. To make big companies such as Amazon and Flipkart liable to their anti-competitive practices. So these are the things government came up with. But there are several challenges in the market. If you see the statistics of the market, if this is the 100% market, the e-commerce sector has captured about only 8% of the market. It means rest 92% is still dependent upon the brick and mortar shops. So why did e-commerce was not able to acquire the market space? Let us look at the challenges of this e-commerce. The first challenge of this e-commerce is anti-competitive practices. What are these anti-competitive practices? Such as predatory pricing, self-preferencing, exclusive deals, let us understand this. What is predatory pricing? So, for example, there is a product. The product costs 100 rupees in as its market value. What is the cost of this product? 100 rupees as its market value. And there are two sellers, seller A and also seller B. Seller A sells this at 150 rupees with 50 rupees as his profit margin, right? But seller B sells the product at just 50 rupees with loss of 50 rupees. So, what happens in the market? People generally tend to buy the same product for less price. So, seller B will obviously get an hike or profit. And ultimately, seller A will go out of the market. So, now the seller A is not in the market. Only seller B with his 50 rupees price is in the market. Now, what will the seller B do? Seller B now can increase this price to the 200 rupees and sell it. This is termed as predatory pricing. What is this? Predatory pricing. Out competition to the some other person is called predatory pricing. And second one is self-preferencing. So coming to this self-preferencing, we see this in Amazon Pay. Amazon always wants us to pay through the Amazon Pay rather than other UPI IDs such as Phone Pay or Google Pay. It always preferences Amazon Pay above everyone. And whenever you are searching for any product, you always see the Amazon Basics product. Why? This is called as a self-preferencing, where you have your platform, you preference your own products rather than acting in a neutral way. So this is termed as self-preferencing, which is unethical in nature. Next one is exclusive deals. We do see some smartphone manufacturers have exclusive deals with the platforms where they are going to sell their phone only in that platform. This actually puts the other platforms out of competition, right? It automatically excludes other platforms from the competition. These kind of deals, these kind of anti-competitive practices inhibit the competition in the market. This is the major challenge for this e-commerce sector. Okay, so this is what is the first thing? Anti-competitive practices. Let us look at the second important challenge for this e-commerce sector. The other important challenge for this e-commerce sector is lack of privacy. For example, you share the data, you share your cards, for example, credit card, debit card, you save them, and you also have your UPI IDs with them. What about the privacy? What about the cyber attacks happening in the country? There are a lot of issues related to the privacy in the country. The next one, cultural issues, cultural and behavioral issues. We did see that only 8% of market share is taken by this e-commerce sectors. What are the rest of 92%? Most of it is related to the mindset of the people. People are mostly linked to the brick and mortar shops or retail outlets. So there are cultural and behavioral preferences towards these brick and mortar shops or retail shops. Next one. There are also other issues, right? There is a long wait period compared to that of retail shops. For example, if you're buying some product in a retail shop, you get it and you just wear it. But what happens if you are buying in this e-commerce site? It takes so much of time to actually come, right? And there are also other issues like issues of antitrust. For example, what is your reference for buying some product in e-commerce site? It's an optical figure which is shown by that e-commerce site. But when the product is delivered, you may not feel as it is exactly same which you have seen, right? So such kind of things, I mean, there can be a mismatch between what you have seen and what you have received. These kind of things build mistrust in the people about the e-commerce sector. So these are the main challenges, and there is also other important challenge, infrastructure bottlenecks. For example, if you are placing an order in Hyderabad, you are going to receive the product within 2 or 3 days. But what if you are placing order in a rural area? It may take 15 days or 16 days to reach here. So there are a lot of inter-regional variations, inter-geographical variations between the regions where the delivery time, delivery speed is also affected. So so these are the main challenges or issues plaguing with the e-commerce sector. Now let us see what must be our way forward. What must be our way forward? First one is government must come up with national e-commerce policy. where these anti-competitive practices must be punished severely. And second one, government must provide for e-commerce companies and act as a facilitator. For this, we already spoke about it. Government allows 100% FDI to the marketplace model only, not the inventory-based model. So this actually restricts some global companies to come to the Indian market, to explore the Indian market, to provide employment. So government must become facilitated here rather than a regulator. And third one, regulations must not be very tight or very light. Regulations must be balanced. So where buyers and sellers both have comparative advantage. And coming to the fourth important thing, MSMEs must be onboarded into this platform. As through CSR or some any other initiatives, we must try to make MSMEs to come into this platform so that employment generation in the country will be the better, and also job creation will be better. So rural livelihood will be better, right? And fifth one, government must support through providing multimodal logistics parks, which will reduce the transit time or delivery time between the consumer and seller. These are the things government must make to make this e-commerce sector and to realize the vision of $5 trillion economy. Thank you.